So, yeah, it seems that it has been quite a intense sessions so far. Yeah, and mine could be a kind of a respite from slight change in what you'll be discussing today. So, just to know, like, I hope all of you are good with, like, okay with English. Yeah, great, wonderful. Okay, so we are going to discuss about exhibition today, right? So to begin with, there are quite some interesting things we will discuss. But before we begin, I would like to know, have you all been to any exhibitions in person and what type of?
So I've been to science exhibitions and once I've been to an art exhibition.
Okay, okay. So anything specifically you could share?
Like for the first time, like I was in the exhibition, like the science exhibition, I was part of it. Like I had a stall and stuff.
Oh,
So
wonderful.
that was like it was a open area and it was really good. Like a lot of you could like one stall to another, completely different thing. Like in a like the walls are covered with information. You can easily see what's happening. And
Hmm.
the art exhibition actually, I think Sadish and I went with him actually.
Okay,
If I
okay,
remember right. Yeah,
okay.
so that was my first art exhibition, which that's the first time I'm actually looking at art like someone else in person. So it was
Mm-hmm.
really good. Probably I was staring at it for a really long time trying to understand what it was, but it was a really good experience.
Okay, great, great. So Atharva here says he has been to a art and photographic exhibition. Yes, great. Anyone else would like to share some inputs?
Sir, I've been to an art exhibition, fine arts exhibition,
Hmm.
and there were a lot of shadow art. Like they placed a lot of junk items and they
Hmm.
made art out of it. Like when you look from a view, you can see an art piece. That was a really nice experience. I've tried to do it, but it doesn't really work.
Doing what? Putting junk piece together like to look in something similar?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
sorry. Sir.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? Yeah. Ayati says I have been to an art exhibition and science exhibition. Ayati must be forced to see exhibitions. Okay. Right. So when we say it's an exhibition, so I'm sure all of you know the word, must have heard it quite often, exhibit. Yeah, a book exhibition as well. Yes. So we already have about 3 to 4 different types of exhibitions what we are speaking here, right? So when we say it is about exhibiting something, yeah, so there has to be something to be exhibited. Yeah, it could be art, it could be photographs, it could be the objects in your home, right? It could be sculptures or n number of things. We will just look at some examples in short while. So one thing I remember is my cousin from, like, we hail from a village in Karnataka, and there is a old mansion, and typically there used to be certain way of displaying photographs. Have any of you seen Raja Revarma's prints or any of the works he has done?
Yes, certainly.
Okay, okay, great. So let's begin by sharing some images here, and then probably we could one by one discuss it. Okay, so I hope that the screen is visible to all of you. Satish, is it visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great, great. Yeah, has anyone of you seen this cartoon earlier? Not your
Sir.
generation.
Yes. Yes, sir.
You have? Oh, that's
Yeah.
great. That's great. Okay. So I'll just share two of these images and then I'll come to my point of what we are discussing about a mansion. I hope they run in the sequence. Yeah. Okay, so this is just an example what I'm trying to explain. My grandfather's house has a very huge ceiling, and the pictures in general are displayed in this manner. Okay. Now it so happened when I visited a cousin who stays in city now, he now he's about 5 to 6 years older to me, and he has a son. Probably now he must be some of your age. And when I happened to visit him after a long time, I saw that the Garfield sticker was on the cupboard. Yeah, like I think someone was showing the cupboards here. Yeah, Aditya. So something like there was a huge Garfield, about 2 feet big Garfield sticker was there. And then he had displayed some of the photographs um, in the similar manner where I showed the image you right now. Now it immediately clicked me that, hey, it has to do with memory. Yeah. As childhood, we cousins used to visit our grandfather's house, and how one displays things has to do with several memories. So Garfield sticker was his childhood memory cartoon. Yeah, it was a cartoon strip which came in the newspapers, and it was a popular cartoon as well. And hence, since his son is of the age where he typically watches cartoon and things like that, so he was trying to relive the cartoon. Yeah, the joy of watching or reading cartoon. Garfield is typically a sluggish and a kind of a royal cat, yeah. So he's just eating around and bossing around and all sort of things. You can just check there are some of the episodes on YouTube, and one can immediately start relating. Oh, it's such a wonderful thing that memory can be connected in multiple ways. So reliving memory through his son's age, in a way. Yeah, reliving childhood through the images. So that is one thing. And the way he displayed the photo frames was also peculiar, like his own childhood, or where we grew up looking at those frames. Something that would have some sort of spiritual or religious reference. For instance, there could be a photograph of a deity, or some like the example I mentioned of Raja Ravivarma's print, like Ganga Avtaran would be one of the examples, where Bhagirath is standing with his hands up and awaiting Lord Shiva to take the waters from the heavens and then eventually flow down to the earth. So it's a very dramatic image. I won't share that image with you right now, but such images were displayed in the slant angle. So the way he put it up at his house as well, it was so similar. Yeah. So memory plays an interesting role in this case. So to begin with, where all do you see things to be exhibited? We will come to art eventually, but I want you to just look at the thought, like, do we exhibit things around our home? Do we put up certain things? Does it tell us something about yourself, how you put your wardrobe? Maybe some of you must have the habit of throwing your trousers on the bed, maybe the towel on the bed, or maybe even keeping it very nicely, or put it on the drying, put it for drying properly. Yeah, there could be all sort of attitudes. I'm not here to judge, but just please share, like, how do you think, like, what does these objects tell others about you, or do they tell anything about you? What do you think?
So when I used to go to school, I used to be very lazy and throw my socks under the bed. I didn't want to put it for washing. So when my mom comes, she used to always say that I'm very lazy and why can't you take all your stuff and put it in the washing and stuff like that. She used to think I'm dirty.
Okay, okay. Right. So that is one thing she used to think. But has it changed, or do you still continue to do that?
So now there is no school, right? So like we don't have anything to.
So no point of using the sock at all. Right. Anyone else would like to share? It need not be only about tidiness or untidiness. Maybe there is a some object or a vase which has been put out in a room, in a what do you say, drawing room or somewhere. Okay? Anything that you think it tells something about your family or yourself.
I would like to share.
Yes, please.
So we are having an area in our house where my mom and my dad, we have curtains, and they are of my grandfather and my great grandmother's sari and all. So after seeing, and we also have a golden light there at the top. So when I switch on the light, it feels like I am in. It gives a look, or it feels something like I'm in a typical Marathi house.
Okay.
Because that sari is the sari is decorated kind of and has a golden color design on it, so it feels like that. And then I also like to put when I put some songs, I get into it and I like it.
That's wonderful. That's really wonderful. Great. Anyone else would like to go ahead and share?
Yes, sir. Sir, the photo frames in our house displays how we were earlier or how we are now.
That's a great thing to observe. Yes, because that tells us about suppose just to add on, suppose it's a photograph of a grandfather or some ancestor who might be with us or who might not be with us. Yeah, how they were being clothed, or what they were wearing. Yeah, if a grandfather typically had a mustache, then maybe he would look very regal in nature. Okay, I guess it's too old for you. No worries. Yeah. So I'm sharing the slides, some of the images again, and we'll continue. Yes. So would we call this to be a display?
Yes.
Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
A display of fruits.
Right. So is it a good display?
Yes.
Yes.
So
Okay.
the shopkeeper has arranged the fruits properly according, like pomegranate and grapes in one section.
Okay. Okay. So then what purpose does this serve in that case? How is it helpful for the shopkeeper to arrange it? Because I'm sure all of you know it takes a lot of efforts to put it in this way. Does it? Do you think so?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So then what is the use of putting it up in this manner?
So the customers find it easiest to choose the fruits and.
Right. Right. Okay. Finding easy is the only use.
So the customers can see the fruits which are kept at back.
Right. 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 Right.
So that
What
attracts
else?
the customers.
That's true. That's the primary thing, attracting the customers for the foods to be sold. Yes, that's the primary objective, but there could be few more things here.
So like when we buy a fruit, we check how is it, right? Like we check if it's good or it's a good fruit. We go around the fruit, and then like we check if it's a good fruit. We are picky in it. So it is easier for us to pick the better fruit if it's arranged in a proper manner.
Right, right, right. So and one more thing, like I think there was a discussion happening just before the session with Prajakta, there was one point which Aditya was mentioning. Just see, like, what else, what could be one more useful thing in arranging it?
Space saving.
Space saving, yeah, space. Spot on.
So
Yes.
that
So, yeah.
he is
Please
selling
continue.
fruits. Show that he is selling fruits. If the fruits are kept in the box or the basket, people will not understand that the person is selling fruits.
Right. So here we are speaking about a certain arrangement, right? So there is such a nice arrangement of different type of fruits, right? So there are some yellow, there are some reddish fruits. The photograph might not give us the true colors, but the reds, the apples could be even brighter. Yeah, the grapes could be even brighter in real, and of course we can see the yellow oranges in the color which they are, right? So all of it is giving a very interesting view. Don't you think so? Is it interesting enough?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and also
Yes.
the black grapes in between, and I am assuming that these are also a type of grapes, not really very clear. So it like small objects and big objects, yellow objects, and more or less based on the shape, different objects are placed in different places. Yeah, and putting this in a tower and keeping it there also requires a lot of hard work. Do you think so?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. So one can see the benefits of arranging things in a nice manner, right? So there are so many useful things: attracting the customers to sell the fruits, arranging it well so that people can find them easily, right? And it's also pleasing to watch like amazing fruits like this. Okay, so yeah. So just another example of how this has been arranged. One was standing and one is sitting here. Yes. So how does this help to look at these images? Is the display here different?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it same as the man who put it on the card?
No.
No.
Okay. So then is there anything other or different? Of course, the view is different. They are seated here. But is it going to help in any way? Quick thing, if you notice that there are baskets yet below, right? Below the fruits. So they can be lifted and quickly taken out. Yeah. So that is one of the uses one can see in this image. Okay. Right. So just a couple of few different displays here. Yeah. Can someone tell me what is this about?
A fashion brand displaying its clothes or something.
Yes. Yes. Call it as.
Display of clothes outside the shop.
Right. Right. So does this also serve the same purpose like the fruit seller?
Yes.
Okay. But then how is it different than the fruit seller?
The person or the owner of this shop is focusing on their dresses and on their, not on the back side of what they are wearing. So that is why they are facing towards us, not.
Right. Wonderful. Wonderful. What else?
And the fruit seller is keeping all their products, like all fruits, all apples. But in this, the shop is displaying only some dresses, not all of them.
Perfect. Perfect.
So the background
Yes.
is white in color. The other things are white in color, but the dresses are black in color, which gives it more vibrant look. We can focus on the dresses even more.
Right.
Sir,
Anything?
sir,
Yes.
so these are just for display, and the fruits are the ones that we are buying like for buying only. And this is just for showing what all they sell.
Okay, then that's a brilliant observation. Yes. Would someone like to make an observation on the background of this particular image?
The
Or
background is
some other thing? Yes.
background is being purposely arranged in order to attract the clothes.
Right, right, right.
The gates
what
are
is this
open,
space?
and so they are welcoming us.
Wonderful, wonderful. See how much of reading we are doing here. Yeah, we are just looking at different visuals and we are reading through them, right? So here, one major difference I would like to point out is that there is a conscious effort to put up a sense of the clothing here. So there is a theme chosen, isn't it? So it looks like a kind of winter wear, but it may be or it may not be, right? So there is a certain, and of course we can see that it's typically meant for a certain type of youth, maybe, right? Girls maybe. And then we can also see that the gates, the way the achromatic or black and white colors are used, it serves a purpose of a theme, right? So this is something in fashion is called as mood board. So basically, what is the mood which is being created? So a lot of preparation is done even actually before it goes on to the display. And of course, you can see the swan which is being put up there. So a kind of a fountain which has been frozen. So it gives a sense of what climate it is, right? Unlike the fruit seller who was selling the fruits directly, and someone who mentioned it rightly that it is to be consumed immediately. But here it is for a certain experience, right? The experience is much more different than just picking up the fruits. Do you all agree with that? Yeah, you may disagree also. Yes, okay. So let's have a look at some more images. Yeah. So is this any different from the earlier display?
The theme is different.
Yes, okay.
The arrangement is done in a different manner.
So the lighting is different.
The lights are different. Yes, certainly. Very, very well observed. Don't you find something unusual here?
It's not
the
only about the
people-
dresses, but
Please pardon, Liz.
not only about the dresses, but there are bags and shoes too that match with it.
Right. Yeah. So you may say it's a complete package of clothing and accessories.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Don't you find the scissor to be odd in there? It's unusually big.
Yeah, the scissors, the paper stuck to the wall, it's unusually odd because it depicts more of a craftsmanship. It looks like there's one artist who wears this more.
Right, right, right. And the words which are mentioned, does it help in understanding this display in any different manner?
Yes.
Yeah, can you please elaborate?
The words are indirectly telling that maybe it's a tailor shop or dresses are created here.
Right, but there is something more specific, you know. The words itself, which says classic cut.
It's written cut, so maybe cut means that those parts, like the ones which have been hanged, the white ones, the cuttings.
Right. Okay. So quite some interesting observations here. We'll slightly go deeper and see that if you go look at the background, it's such a simple use of white paper itself, which are nothing but before stitching the clothes. Yeah, paper cuts of real size clothing which are cut and displayed back there. Yeah, and then the scissor gives us a sense that it is specifically cut. So the cutting part, the main tool of a tailor is being specified. The spool are being emphasized. So, and the words itself, when say the classic cut, they are trying to give a sense that, oh, it is something that is timeless. Yeah. So a type of stitching or all the things where this particular display would invite or attract the customers for a certain type of look and feel they would get from the clothing, right? Yeah, I hope all of us are going along. बात समझ में आ रही है ना सबको?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great, wonderful. Okay, another display here. Do you think it's a display?
No.
Yes, sir.
Is it? Okay, so what is it about?
Display of a monument.
Okay, display of a monument. And what do you think, what do you experience, or what you might experience being here?
I don't know, silence, like
Silence.
a peaceful place where
Okay.
we can sit or relax.
Right.
Vastness is very
Architecture.
big.
Right, right.
The color of piece is white, so the pillars are also white. They are not disturbing.
Right, right. So what do you think this place is?
Maybe a pilgrim place.
Okay, okay. Right. Could it be a temple?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So if we treat it to be a display of something, so it's giving us a set of experiences, right? Unlike the fruit seller and the shopping, the windows, here the experience is even more different, right? You are entering a space and it's giving, some of you felt it could be a peaceful space, right? Okay. How about this?
An exhibition of different powders, color powders.
Right. Has anyone seen them literally?
Yes, sir.
Yes, during Holi.
During Holi. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Any other memory one could associate with?
Sir, in some places they put chili powder, like a cone shape, turmeric powder, chili powder.
Right. So again, I would ask the same question which I asked about the fruit seller. What is the purpose of this display?
To attract the customers. It's very colorful.
Right. But what is being sold here?
One step of colors is a little up, so this is how people can see the colors easily.
Right.
And
Perfect.
they are also arranged in a pyramid kind of shape, so that more color so that more color will be there and can be accommodated in that particular bowl. Or
Wonderful, wonderful. Yes. Yeah. Any more points? Okay. So the purpose. Yes.
In the lower layer, there are like different shades of red, and on the top, it's different colors.
Okay. Okay. Now, this is a simple or a common view, which generally when we go to old or ancient temples, or even slightly rural or town side, if we go, we find such displays outside the temples, yeah, where these colors are being sold, not necessarily meant for to be worshipped in the temple directly, but for people to carry as rangoli, or also for decorative purposes. Yeah, some of it would be vermilion, what we call it as haldi and kumkum. So the two colors would be visible to you, but here these are artificial colors other than haldi and kumkum, right? This particular pigment here, if you can see my arrow hovering, so here which it has been slightly scraped off, and so it means that it has been already been part of it taken out and sold. Does that make sense to all of you?
Yes.
sir.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, we will come to this slightly later. Okay, great. So I'm going to share some more things with you. Now, before we do that, we are looking at different types of displays. Someone said we go to an exhibition of science where we look at different scientific objects, yeah, scientific inventions, right from maybe a simple motor to an aircraft or a missile or things like that, which are fascinating for us. But what do we do when we go to an art exhibition? Can anyone share more experience of visiting an art exhibition?
When we visit an art exhibition, we basically observe the art or take pictures with it, with the
Right.
sculpture mostly.
Okay.
When we find some new painting styles and all, we try to understand what this painting is about, what the artist might have imagined when he was painting this.
Okay. Anyone else?
So the styles of painting, and sometimes in an art exhibition you can buy the paintings.
Right. Great.
Sir,
So there-
arrangement of light.
Yes, the arrangement of light you experienced. Yes, good. Okay. So shall we proceed? If there are no more points to be added. Okay, I assume so. I'll be sharing few more things here and then slowly discuss about what exhibition is about. Yeah. Before we start with a virtual tour, I'm sure all of you must have gone through virtual tours of different museums. Have been doing that? Yeah. Was it fun to do that? Yeah. Just sitting here and just look at how Google has helped us. You know, I remember when I was in college, we barely could refer to a projected image. Yeah, sometimes it wasn't available or the projector conked off, and it's such an amazing thing that sitting right here, we can do a tour of the world monuments, such great museums all around the world. Yeah, sometimes I find it's a privilege people are born in this era. Yeah, just sitting here with a click of a few fingers, you just move around through the world seamlessly. Isn't it amazing? Yeah, great. Okay, now I'm not going to inform you too many complex things about what exhibition means, but I think we have already discussed a lot of complex things. Yeah, like somebody mentioned about space. Yeah, how it is arranged. Yeah, what are the purposes? Someone said it is about looking and feeling art, or also the feelings you get from different spaces. Yeah, and someone also mentioned about selling work over there. Yeah, so there will be different purposes which each and every exhibition or a type of exhibition will serve. Yeah, eventually over the period of 2 days we will be discussing various things. So I will right now begin with a virtual tour of a couple of spaces I hope it works well here. Okay. Yeah. So I'm sure all of you must have seen Google Arts and Culture website. Yeah. And it immediately gives us a sense that, okay, what are we going to look at? So this virtual website itself is giving us a sense of, okay, where do you want to enter? Yeah. So here it says part 1, stories from the palace. Whether you are interested in looking at the stories and fun facts, or are you interested in watching the paintings up close? Yeah. And something that has never been seen. So it always happens that we may not be able to see each and everything which is in a collection, right? Now, what is a collection? That's something we will speak about it tomorrow in the next session. So which display would you like to enter? Anyone?
So the never before seen content.
Okay, let's try that. Okay, so here there are 2 types of displays. One can see there is a pre-recorded video, and in some places you will find that it is more of an interactive form, right? So let's try to see part of it. Please excuse me, I did not share the audio here, so I will reshare the screen for you.
On ne pouvait pas imaginer ce que serait ce partenariat il y a 5 ans. Ça pouvait paraître étonnant à l'époque d'associer Google et Versailles, tant les 2 institutions pouvaient sembler éloignées et même antinomiques. Et je crois que c'est tout le contraire.
Pour ce nouveau projet, nous avons voulu ajouter une dimension d'expérience et d'immersion au contenu que nous avons développé autour du château de Versailles. Depuis les premières captations Street View dans la galerie des glaces et des jardins, jusqu'à cette nouvelle exploration immersive du château, Google Arts and Culture a fait entrer les technologies les plus performantes dans l'univers et la magie de Versailles.
Okay, yes. Can anyone point out at the difference, what exactly has been from looking all the images before this? A couple of points. Yes, anyone? Okay, maybe you might be taking some time to comprehend. If we look at, it gives us a sense of historicity. It's something very old, a place which is a palatial space. We all agree with that? Something that belongs to history, something old. Yeah. And could you see a couple of paintings which were on a huge walls out there? And also the paintings were huge. Yeah. Now this is one type of exhibition. Yeah, some of them are permanent and some of them are temporary. So when we are looking at the idea of exhibition, it depends what is the exhibition about. So if it is about historic objects, sometimes it is interesting to watch them in the place where they are, right? So it also depends how big they are. Now, for instance, if you want to watch a monument, see a monument up close, what would be the best place to see? Would you like to see a photograph or a print, or would you like to visit the monument directly?
Visit the monument directly.
Right. You know, we all artists are yearning to visit galleries and the museum spaces since a long time, because that something gives us a kind of energy, like looking at work on display. Yeah. So monuments also, like it gives us a sense of historic value, how old it is, who built them, who were the artists involved. So there are several things which one starts looking at when you see a historic place in particular, right? So that is the purpose here, that exhibition allows us to again go into the memory. So if you remember, we discussed about memory of my cousin. So here it is not just one cousin, but they could be related to us as humans, right? Maybe there could be a direct or indirect relation, right? But it is something we share. So it is our ancestral history, isn't it? Yeah, I hope it's not too boring for all of you. Okay, great. Glad to know that. Okay, now we are going to see one more. So with this one, we'll do an actual tour of one museum. This is based in Pune, known as Raja Dinkar Kelkar Museum. So it is a private museum. Now, what is the difference between a public and private museum? So generally, the collection in a private museum belongs to a particular family or a trust run by certain individuals. So this is one of them. And a public museum is generally run by the state. But of course, over there is the other people who are looking after it, where there could be a trust as well. So just to hear these words, you don't have to go deeper immediately. Sometimes when you grow older, you will come across these concepts more often. So let's try and enter and see what we experience, we gain out of it. Shall we begin?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to do a swift view here. Very swift. Okay, I'm going to pause here and ask you, what did you observe or see in this swift view? Anyone? It was too swift for everyone to watch anything. Yeah, you can say so.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, of course. It was very swift view to quickly go. Is Ayati trying to say something?
I was saying it. I said yes, sir. That it is
Okay.
really fast.
Right. Okay. We'll have a second look. Yes, Ritesh.
I don't know, but I noticed one thing. Like whenever there is one exhibition they are showing on a particular topic, like they keep one artificial idol to represent that we are going to an era where these idols or these structures were found in or related to that idols.
Right. That's an interesting observation. So why I took a swift view was, generally this is observed that when we as a school visit exhibitions, we quickly take such a run through, right? Do you remember doing that? Your teacher is behind you, like, hurry up, and the all purpose of visiting a museum is to basically wait and watch. But most of the times you are just running through the exhibition. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember? Do you have such an experience? Okay. So yeah, now let's take a poised view of it. Okay, I'm just going to begin where we are right now and see a few things how we can observe them. Okay, can someone start telling me what are the objects do you see around? Oh, something went wrong here. Okay, let me. It's asking us to re-enter the. Sure. Yes. Can anyone start describing what you're watching?
There are a lot of statues.
I'm sorry, this is something I doubted, that screen sharing might not really work with all the virtual tools, but nonetheless, we'll just start and stop and see the few part of it. Okay, yes. Someone please go ahead.
The color and the lighting isn't like too bright or too dim. It is perfect, so we can observe. It is very appealing.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. That's a great observation. Yes. What else? I think we are going to face this more often. Yes. Yeah. Yes. So there were certain statues which were kept alongside. Yeah, in the earlier Swift view, did you observe there was a kind of a gate, a retractable gate? Yeah, like a shutter. Yeah. Now, there are a few things. Now, this is a private space, you know, it was not built as a museum, but the way it is modeled so that it can accommodate different objects, right? And sometimes it so happens there are a lot of collection which is gathered, but it cannot be displayed altogether. So hence, sometimes these makeshift spaces are used where there are, once you open the gate, it becomes a larger space. Okay. When you started walking, you could see both how the idols are kept. Could you identify the medium of the idols? No, I guess. Were they white in color? Yes, it was marble. Yeah, we'll try to have a better look, and of course I'll be sharing this link with all of you so that with your individual internet probably it will work better, right? So do check this out, and we will continue with this part of it. We are slightly moving towards the activity. I will be continuing with what exhibition approaches are there, how different things are taken care about. Yeah. Just one more point and we will move towards the activity plan for today. Are you all curious about the activity? What is it about? Yeah. Some people look bored. Oh, another activity. Is it so? Okay. Don't worry. You are going to enjoy this one. So tell me from your memory, like when you visited the museum or an art gallery, did you see something written out there? Anything that was written for you?
Information about the object.
Right. So how is that helpful?
We know about the history, when it was created, why it was created, and all. We get to know about the object.
Right. Perfect. So do you see it in what language? Did you if you read it or have a memory of it, what language would have been used in that case?
English and Hindi.
English.
English and Hindi. Okay, okay. So it depends on different places you go. Yeah. So some places are open to public, like anyone and everyone can go. Some of the spaces where the exhibition are held, as I mentioned now, some of them would be private, and not, even though some public would be invited, but only certain few people who are interested in it always visit. And the language used to describe or write a note might not always be in multiple languages, but one particular language. Yeah, the one we are speaking right now. Does that make sense to all of you? Okay, great, great. Okay. So few more things is about how do you watch these objects displayed. Yeah, we saw the fruits which are held placed on a cart, which can be lifted in our hands, right? So someone said that one can check whether they are ripe or they are kind of rotten, or if there is any defect in them. So would you do that the same thing in a museum or an art gallery to check whether there is a hole in a painting? Yeah, even if there is hole, would you like to touch it?
No, sir.
Yes. Would you like to? No? Why so?
Because we
Jalisa
know,
saying something?
sir, because we know it's valuable.
Okay, that's a wonderful word. But can you, if you can spill few more words on that?
The paintings like that are part of the history. So we can know more about the history with them, and they are very valuable. If they are damaged or broken when we touch, it's like a part of the history is destroyed.
Right. That's very sensible of you. Yeah, that's where we call it as a heritage, and we need to take care of that by not touching them. Yeah, not physically trying to damage them or even in any manner. So wonderful thought. Great. Anything else?
And
Yes, Kathy, go on.
the objects are well protected
Okay.
by laser lights or glass around it.
Oh, I'm sure you must have seen some sci-fi films here. Yeah, something like Ocean's 11 or so, where laser beams are seen in a museum. Yes. Okay, Aditya.
So it's written there, do not touch.
Right, it's written there, do not touch. There are several reasons. I'm sure during Omkar session you must have learned this, that how they might harm. You know, even if you dip your finger without washing them in a pickle jar, yeah, the pickle would go, what do you say, kharab ho jayega, na? Right? Okay, someone, Elisa says some objects might be very fragile. Yes, perfectly. Yeah, this is exactly what is to be looked at when we are, so there are multiple purposes of display. Yeah, one, it is about allowing us to see them. Yeah, so there is a time connection here, that we are able to see objects which were maybe created hundreds of years, thousands of years, maybe a year old. Yeah, but it is allowing us to watch them up close, to see what the artist or the creator has done with the object, right? And that is the primary purpose, that to be able to see them in person. Yeah, I hope this basic framework or understanding helps you to understand what is the purpose of an exhibition. Yeah, we will be discussing more about it on Wednesday. So before we go to the activity part, any questions so far? Any comments would you like to make?
When we usually work with a powder substance, so we usually switch off our fan so that it doesn't blow, or so this is also something what you were trying to speak.
Right. Yeah, but I didn't get the example of powder and the connection with the exhibition.
No, sir, not with exhibition. If I am opening a bottle or maybe a small, so which is containing powder, maybe gold powder, or so we usually switch off a fan so that it doesn't go away.
Right. So we are careful about the atmosphere also, how it would affect some things.
Yes, sir. So that
Yeah, the
is
material.
the reason why
Yeah.
we usually don't touch paintings or maybe.
Right. Yeah, that could be a reason. Yes, certainly. Okay, great. Now, there is an interesting term here in art world. Often hear this word curator. Yeah, and Satish was teasing in the morning, Prajakta, that what is the curator has to say. Yeah. So Prajakta is a curator of this entire session, and which Prajakta doesn't like to be called as a curator. But who is this curator? Yeah. Have you heard this word earlier? Anyone? Doesn't matter if you haven't. You haven't lost much.
Person who takes care of a museum or something like that.
Right. A perfect answer. This was a very conventional meaning of a curator. Yeah, in recent times, since last several decades, this meaning has changed, and significantly there are different meanings associated. Or what does a curator do? Sometimes one can see curator to be an artist as well. Yeah, so we'll not go there right now. But the conventional meaning is that a curator in a museum is a caretaker of the art objects in the display, on the display or in the collection. Okay, and second most important job of the curator is to put it in such a way that the people coming to watch it get a wonderful or good experience of watching it. Yeah, so it has to be displayed, so the meaning, whatever might be implied, could be understood well through the picture. Yeah, through whatever display is made. So maybe some pictures are very small and may not be observed properly. Like suppose you go to a gallery where there are coins kept. Yeah, small coins. Has anyone been to a coin exhibition or seen a coin gallery in any museum? Or do you have coins at home which you collect?
Sir, I went to an art exhibition and there was a section where all these different kinds of coins were kept.
Right.
Yeah, like that I saw a lot of coins.
Okay. You know, sometimes the coins can be so small that you may not be able to see the design or whatever is being written on it or any mark on it with your bare eyes. So sometimes they give you a magnifying glass, right? So you'll be able to see them properly. So similarly, there is a type of painting which we call it as miniature paintings. Yeah. So which have very fine work. I'm sure you must have been acquainted with this word so by far, right? Those works which have very fine work, brush work, which is done over there. It's so detailed that you require some extra tool to look at it. So it is the work of a curator to arrange or organize in such a way that these details are viewed, right? People can engage them and also enjoy them, that how amazingly the painter has taken efforts to paint it in such detail, right? So just to give a hint about technology, and I'm sure you must have seen it either on social media or somewhere, Rijksmuseum, have you heard the name of an artist? Sorry, I forgot the name of the artist. Anyone? The name of the artist is Rembrandt. Yeah, one of his big painting was scanned with a very high technology lens. yeah, which could capture so many details of the painting that it is bigger. It's so big that the information stored in it is so big. It requires huge servers. I'm sure you must have heard the word servers, something like your memory card on your phone, but imagine it as big as a house, right? So something like that would be required to store information. Yeah. So it was, one could see the painting with such detail, and I'm sure you could be able to do it with the Google Arts and Culture website as well, to look at some of the paintings up close as you can see the paint layers on it, where the artist left the brush mark. Yeah, are we all following what is being discussed? Great. Now we come to the part where you are going to be a curator at your home, right? Do you want to be one? Now I'm going to force you to be one. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure, like the very initially I asked about what do the objects tell us when they are in your house. Yeah, maybe the fridge magnets tell us something, right? The frames in a house tell us something. Yeah, where the places you have been to. Yeah, you might have been collecting souvenirs from different places. Yeah, something of fond of your own childhood or your parents' childhood. Things are just there for generations together, isn't it? Yeah, which are to be seen in your house, right? So what I want you to do is, I would rather request you to do is that look at your house, just carefully observe them. Yeah, maybe if you have an individual room, do it with your individual room, or you are living in a house which has which interests you, whatever area of your house interests you, and you think, oh, there is one interesting part here, there could be a different meaning here. Yeah, so that meaning we will try to first, in few simple words, write it down. Okay, whatever you see the displays, and also with your phones, I would like you to click photographs of how it is kept. Right now, suppose something as simple as the example what we take about a half filled glass. Yeah, now you may also, if there is a vase which is kept which has transparent a transparent vase, so you may fill it up. Maybe there is half of water, maybe by filling it up might change the meaning of it. Yeah, does this all make sense to all of you, or am I being too complicated? Please feel free to share.
Sir, could you repeat it again? What to
Yeah.
do?
Yeah. Okay, so the simple task is that just look out around your house, wherever the objects are kept. Maybe your sofa is kept in a certain way. Yeah, because it is easier to move around, right? Just to ask another question, do you keep a chair in the center of your hall or drawing room? Why wouldn't you? Yeah, that would be the question. I'm not asking you to do it right away, but why wouldn't you? Right? Why is there a closet on the wall or towards the wall? Why aren't the doors facing the wall? Right? Each object in your house has a certain purpose, right? And the way it has been presented, right? So I would ask you to choose few things which can be easily moved without disturbing the house. Yeah, and you think that will change or make the view more interesting. That is the activity. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yes.
Is it clear to all of you? Okay, now a few steps which one I would ask you to follow is that first, the moment you spot the thing, immediately or little later, write it down what you find interesting. Yeah, as simple sentences, few sentences if you want, or if you want to write elaborately, wonderful. Yeah, but I want you to observe different things. Okay, then if you find it interesting, is it about the color of the object? Is it about a certain material? Maybe there are a certain kind of a tapestry could be there. There could be a small ceramic bowl, yeah, or a paperweight or pen stand, anything that could be around. So what interests you in looking at that object? Yeah, or that set of objects, not necessarily one object, but a group of objects, right? Once you find that interesting spot in your house, take a photograph. Yeah, and try to take a photograph in multiple views. Yeah, in one view, if you find it is interesting, you might find it interesting in a different angle also. Okay, so check whether you really find it interesting or one particular angle is the best view for it. Yeah, is it fine? Are we going okay? Yeah, the task is simple, right? Okay, something like a window, what I'm looking at you people right now. Yeah, you might be able to see something behind me. There is a curtain, there is a shelf, there is a cupboard and a luggage bag kept on it. Yeah, and there is an orange strip. That might not be a very interesting view. Yeah, maybe if I just do this, the view might be much better. Yeah, did it change the view of my window to you? Does it look more interesting? It might. I'm not saying it should, but it might. So I want you to spot the one particular space which interests you in your house. You find it, oh, this is very interesting. This looks like my house. Yeah, or something that you relate to. Just click one photograph and other photographs which you think, okay, this might be a good angle as well. Once you're done, a simple task is to do is that rearrange them where you find that, okay, this can add on more beauty to the space. Yeah, maybe there is a vase which is kept on a shelf or on a what do you say, maybe a corner stool. You can slightly move it, maybe an inch, maybe a half an inch, whatever you think that may be big enough, or just take it off from the corner table, right? So whatever you think is easy and interesting, slightly rearrange them with your permission of parents, of course, and taking care that no, you don't break anything. Yeah, and take another photograph once you're done. That's it. Do you think this is interesting? Yeah, would rearranging your house make you feel good? Yes, so Satish writes here a walk through the boulevard of your house. Yes, that's the true thing. Yeah, so you'll be taking a round of your own house, how things are arranged. Yeah, so any doubts so far? Any questions? Great. Yes, Satish, I'm almost through with the session.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, Elisa.
Sir, should we write about it, like what we changed and how it looks and all?
You can. See, I leave that totally up to you, you know. Yeah, if you think you can put it in words better, please do write it.
Okay, sir.
That'll be amazing, because, you know, writing gives us a clarity that, okay, what we are thinking. Yeah, when we make it black and white, we become crystal clear about what we are writing, what we are thinking, because we think so many things. I like Milky Bar. I like maybe Cornetto or something like that. But which one do I prefer if both is offered to me? Yeah. So then writing it down gives us a clarity. Oh yeah, I'm more interested in eating a Cornetto ice cream than another chocolate. Yeah. So if you think you can write well, put it in words, please do. But the initial stage, you have to just note down what makes it interesting for you to choose that spot?
Sir, even I had a doubt.
Yes, please.
The things in the museum are kept for sale also.
That's an interesting. Yes, Kathy.
Like
Yeah. Complete your point.
People buy those things.
Now, when we are looking at objects in a museum is generally a collection which is partially on display of objects which has historical value. Okay, so it generally as a policy, it belongs to everyone. Yeah, all humans or the people of that region. So if you are from Maharashtra and something from your ancestral value is put up in that space, so it reflects the values of that region. So it is not owned by one particular person, and hence objects in a museum will not be sold. They can be bought, but they won't be sold. Okay. So there are further other ideas to it. So I don't want you to burden with complex thoughts here. They also can be sold depending on if the museum really wants funds to maintain the museum. Yeah, so there are other ideas, and so there are a lot of law and order references one can look at. But generally, objects are common heritage of all humans. So hence they are not on sale. But there can be few things which are replicas, which can be sold as souvenirs. Yeah. So craft objects which can be remade. Yeah, which are not unique. Right. There is only one piece, but there are multiple of those, and can be repeatedly made by the artisans. So those are on sale. So which is something we call it as a craft store or the museum store, which these objects are sold. Yeah. Does that clarify your point?
Yes. So, sir, this is also a point of differentiation between the display of the fruits and the display of exhibit.
Precisely. Great. Wonderful. Yes. So that's it for today.